everyone, my name is Sharon Platt. I am one of the science tutors at the Student Success Commons, and today I would like to go over the muscles of the lower arm. I did these in some detail in the overview video, but we're going to do some origins and insertions and make sure we know the actions of the specific muscles as well. So let's start on the flexor side. Remember, we have flexor and extensor, right? And we're going to start with the palmaris longus because it's the easiest to find in the middle, right there in the middle, and it is the only one with a tendon that goes over the retinaculum. And this one flexes the wrist. It's kind of a weak synergist to some of the others, but that is its action. And then we don't technically need to know this one, but I find it easier to learn all three because you need all three on the other side. This is the flexor carpi ulnaris. Flexor, it's doing with the wrist, carpi on the peaky side, ulnaris. All right, that also flexes the wrist. And then we have the flexor carpi radialis because it's on the thumb side. And this one, we need to know the origin. The origin, actually, of all of the flexors is up on the medial epicondyle of the humerus. So it's up beyond the joint on the medial epicondyle of the humerus. That's the origin for all these flexor muscles. And then its insertion is down here on the ventral surface, the front surface, of metacarpals 2 and 3. It comes down and it inserts there. So insertion pulls toward origin. So it's going to flex, but, and this is from anatomical position, it is also going to abduct the wrist. If you see, it's coming from down here up, but it comes around and pulls kind of sideways there. It's going to abduct, going to go this way. Abduct the wrist as well. All right, so that is those three. Then under those, we have the flexor digitorum superficialis. So this is still on the flexor side, but this one deals with the fingers now. Flexor digitorum superficialis, it's right in there. It's actually kind of a flat muscle underneath there, like so. And we only need to know the action for that. It flexes the phalanges, specifically kind of this way, not the tips. The tips are the other one. And then under there, we have the flexor digitorum profundus, profound, deep. It's under the superficialis. Superficialis is superficial. All right, and that one flexes more like the tips of the fingers. And the way we look at this, we often look at it from the tendon side instead of up in here, because see all those little V's? Those are actually little loops of the superficialis, the tendons that come from that superficialis muscle. They come down here and insert here and form little loops, and then the profundus goes through that loop and all the way down to the tips of the fingers, okay? Now, it's interesting, the muscles to work our fingers are not in our hand. They're up here in the arm, because if you had a muscle big enough to work the fingers, it would not, your hand would be huge. So we keep the muscles in the hand very tiny and use these to move the fingers up in here. All right, so we're going to flip over and go with the extensors now. Remember, extensors go back this way. And here again, in the middle, we have extensor digitorum. And we do need to know insertions and origins on that. All the extensors originate on the lateral epicondyle of the humerus. All right, so that makes that part easy. All the flexors originate on the medial side. All the extensors originate on the lateral epicondyle of the humerus. And then it inserts down on the dorsal surface of the phalanges. And it makes your fingers go back like this. It extends the phalanges, extends the fingers. All right. And then we have the other two. We come up here. Remember 1, skip 1, 2, skip 1, 3. All right. So we come up here. Over here, we're going to have extensor carpi, because this one controls the wrist. It's on the thumb side, so radialis. Extensor carpi radialis, longest. And that one, again, lateral origin is the lateral epicondyle of the humerus. And it comes down, and the insertion is on the dorsal surface, the back of the hand, of metacarpals 2 and 3. Metacarpal 2, not 3, just 2. And so that extends the wrist. All right. Then we have the one on the other side. So that was, all right, let's find our middle. Extensor digitorum, skip one. This is our extensor carpi radialis. Go back the other way, skip one. This is our extensor carpi ulnaris, because it's on the pinky side. All right. And that one we don't need to know origin and insertion, although we already know origin, lateral epicondyle of the humerus. And this extends and adducts the wrist. There we go. Adducts the wrist. So it extends and adducts the wrist because it's pulling from that direction. And there's one more that is in the, not in the packet, but in the lab packet. And that is this one here. That's the brachioradialis. It starts up here. It's right to the right. It's right to the side of the extensor carpi radialis. It's this big one that's kind of over here, kind of in between the flexors and extensors. So that is your brachioradialis. Starts up on the brachia and comes right down to the radial side, on the thumb side there. All right, and that is the lower arm.